Hi guys, it's Misty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright, I have a really fun card to share with you today, but I'm also excited to try out these new blender brushes by Simon Says Stamp. So they come in a pack of 5 in these beautiful colors, and they had a really great price point, which is why I went ahead and purchased them. I know a couple other companies have been doing colorful brushes lately, but I haven't jumped on the bandwagon until now. So I'm still going to use my old blending brushes though, because I have 3 colors, different colors of blue, and I want to be able to blend the colors together. So I have my old brushes that are just makeup brushes that I got off Amazon. But the Simon Says Stamp brushes are definitely softer than the makeup brushes that I'm using. But, they both work great, I think. So I'm starting out on some Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I'm going to ink blend some Distress ink colors here. And the challenge this week is Starry Night, and we are featuring products from Stampendous, and this is for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. I forgot to say in the beginning. So I'm ink blending some tumbled glass, and then I'll move on to Blueprint Sketch, Chipped Sapphire, and Black Soot. And the fun part about this card is creating the night sky. I had a lot of fun creating it, and it's so sparkly. You know, it's one of those that the pictures just don't do it justice, so hopefully I can try to capture it in the light at some point in this video. Alright, so I'm just going to keep blending the colors together and try to get a nice even blend. And then I'm going to use this stencil by Tim Holtz to create a nice little line of stars to start out with. Now this is a stencil from the Stamptember event, so it's not available any longer, but Tim Holtz does have a very similar stencil. It's called Hocus Pocus, and I'll put a link to it in the products list down in the video description. I'm using the Gina K Glitz glitter gel in silver on this stencil, and at first I'm just going to test out a little corner there because I wasn't sure how it was going to look, and it was a toss-up between using this and the Nuvo Glimmer Paste. But as soon as I saw that star with this silver gel, I knew this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and put it over the entire stencil here. It's such a pretty color on that blue background. And I love my Nuvo Glimmer Paste too. It looks great over Distress inks, but I just didn't want it. I wanted it to pop. I wanted it to stand out, and I thought this was perfect for this card. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and then I'm going to get my image here from Stampendous and color it with my Copic markers. This image is called Dragonfly Ride, and I thought it was such a cute image. But the lines are really, really fine on this stamp, so I was a little worried about how this is going to turn out, but I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it out, and I actually stamp it a couple times just in case I make any mistakes. And I cut most of the Copic coloring out. I'm just going to leave in the coloring of this Dragonfly because I think it turned out really cool. And I'm going to blend the yellow and the blue together. And I love blending 2 bold colors like that together. When your lightest color has, with Copics, the lightest color usually has the most alcohol in it and makes it easier to blend. So like my lightest is Y13 and the lightest blue is B02, I think. So both of those have a lot of alcohol in it, which means it has less color. It's not as bright. And then it makes it easy for those 2 light colors to blend together. And it leaves like it blends like anything else blends. It leaves a nice pretty green tint between the 2 colors. And I'm going to go back and forth between the lightest blue and the lightest yellow and just try to blend them together the best I can. I think I went over it 3 times, but I didn't. I cut that out. You don't need to see me go over it 3 different times. I always go over an image twice though, just to darken up the colors or brighten them up. So that's what I'm doing there. And each time I'm going a little bit further into the blue, and then when I go back to the blue, I'm going to go a little bit further into the yellow. Just makes for a really nice blend. And I'm going to keep the rest of the Dragonfly pretty simple. since these colors are quite bold. And I use the same color for the body of the Dragonfly. I did the B6 on the body, and then I think I used a little bit of a dark color on the eyes, but I kept the eyes the lightest color blue. I know I've never seen a Dragonfly quite this color, but that's okay. I thought it was pretty. And let me point out those fussy cutting skills you see there, because that was not easy to cut this image out. I thought about, well, I couldn't use my scanning cut because of the little hairs on the mice, so yep, I did it the old-fashioned way. I think I did a mighty fine job, too. I just had to bring that to your attention. Pretty proud of myself for that. Pat myself on the back for that one. So when I started making this card, I knew I was using the Stampendous image, the Dragonfly ride, but I wasn't quite sure which sentiment I was going to use. So I went to my Evernote program on my computer and I typed in stars, and it pulls up any stamp set or die that has anything to do with stars. And this stamp set came up. It's kind of an older stamp set by Simon Says Stamp, but I thought it was perfect for this card. The stamp set is called Seeing Stars. And I love Evernote. See how, this was so perfect that I had no idea what stamps I was going to use. And all I did was type in stars, and it gave me a list of anything that had to do with stars. So I tell ya, Evernote is a miracle app. And I keep so much stuff in there. And if I ever didn't have it, I would be lost. That's how I keep track of all my stamps, dies, stencils. What else? I have a medical folder in there for all my allergies, medications I'm on. It's a pretty handy little app. I did do a video on how to using Evernote to inventory your stamps and dies. I'll put a link to it somewhere up in the right corner if you want to check that out. All right, so I just went ahead and heat embossed that with white embossing powder. And I'm going to wipe it off, get off that anti-static powder, and just shine it up a bit. And I was going to splatter some white paint on here, so this might be kind of a weird step, but I didn't want big splatter where my sentiment is, so I'm going to go ahead and cover up my sentiment with a Post-it note. And I didn't even want to do it before, because no matter what, I just didn't want big splatter in those two areas. So that's why I did my sentiment first, and then I figured I would just cover it. And then at the end, I'll uncover it and just do a little bit more splatter so it doesn't look, like there's no splatter in that area. But I'm going to start out with the Lawn Fawn Liquid Stardust. I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use some white paint splatter. But I finally did a side angle of how to use a splatter brush, because I always record from the top so you can't really see. So you just pull up and then you let go. And sometimes I'll do it slow where I can control exactly where it's going, and other times I'll just do it fast, so it just goes all over the place. But it's between this and the white splatter, the white paint, it was just so, it's just gorgeous. There's so much shine and glitter and shimmer to this liquid stardust that it's perfect for stars. Look how gorgeous that is. And this is only part of it. I still add another layer of the liquid stardust, and I haven't even added the opaque white yet. But I do get a good shot of it at the end. And here's my little helper, Trigger, whom I love dearly. And he had to come up for a quick drink of water. I had my cup of water sitting there to do some painting, and he thought it was a water dish, so he came and had a quick drink before I put paint in it. I just love him. He's such a cuddler. In fact, I have him in my lap right now. You might hear him purr, but... So this is something I've never done before. I wanted this to look like it was high up in the sky, so I decided just to add some trees down at the bottom. You can see my practice trees over to the left there. And you see Trigger's nose keep popping up. He kept trying to get up on my desk, so I had to keep him in check there. But this was really easy to do. And I thought it was exactly how I wanted this card, how it just completed this card for me. And I almost did another layer of trees because I wanted it to kind of look like a forest, but then I'm so glad I stopped because I think it would have all blended together and I don't think I would have been happy with it. So I'm glad I stopped where I did. I'm really happy with how this turned out. All right, there's going to be cuteness overload here. There it is. Look at that cute little face. I just love him so much. He and Ollie can never replace the two cats that I lost this year, but they definitely help put my heart back together. I just have so much love for them. Anyway, I'm going to pop my image up using lots of foam tape here. I wanted the image to have a nice shadow all the way around it, so I thought the foam tape was perfect for that. And I totally overkilled it with the foam tape, but I did it so that it's mail friendly. So even if this gets mailed, it's not gonna get smushed. That's always a fear of mine ever since I had a card get completely destroyed in the mail. But it definitely made me be more cautious about putting a card together if there's a chance it's going to be mailed. All right, I'm going to add a layer of black craft foam to the back just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to attach that with some score tape. I'm using a 1/4 inch score tape here. And I always think it's handy to have a couple different sizes of this score tape on hand. So it comes in pretty handy. All right, to finish off my card or to put it all together, I'm attaching it to a soft navy background. That's by Simon Says Stamp. And then I'll attach the whole thing to a top folding black card base. And then I use some smoke cardstock on the inside just so you can see your message. And I use this wonky stitched rectangles to cut that out. And here I get there. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. I love how this turned out. So when you get it in the light, it's got lots of shimmer, but when you just look at it straight on, you still see the stars with the white splatter. So that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate it. All the supplies I used are listed and linked in the video description below and also over on my blog if you want to see additional pictures and how to join us for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. So thanks again. I'll see you next week. Bye.